I'm not going to introduce myself because it doesn't really matter who I am. I'm an American citizen. I live in San Diego, California currently. I watch probably way too much news, from local to Fox to CNN to MSNBC, and I bounce back and forth. And I try to make sure that I'm just watching and listening to everything, to what everyone's saying. I gotta just put something out there because I know a lot of people are going to be seeing and a lot of people are going to be hearing things. And I just want to make sure that we're all doing the right thing and hearing everything out there to understand what is really going on, what is truly happening. This week, rioting has been absolute chaos. And it has corrupted true, just, meaningful, law-abiding protests across this country. Now, the root of the issue was very clearly spoken to if you watched any of the coverage from any of the officials from Minnesota. And so if you haven't watched the coverage from the officials of Minnesota from this morning, Saturday, May 30th, you need to go find the coverage of the officials from Minnesota speaking on what is going on what is corrupting these protests. Because there are other people in other places in this country who have far too much power and influence, who are speaking entirely wrongfully on what is causing this corruption of protest. Some people are trying to say this is coming out of a liberal perspective, and I'm not going to go any further than that because the fact of the matter is that is wrong. The corruption coming and destroying these law-abiding protests are coming from right extremists. They are coming from white supremacists. They are coming from white nationalists. They are coming from people who are doing anything they can to destroy the true purpose of these protests, which is to speak to the ongoing injustices of people of color. If you think the rioting and the looting and the destruction and the extreme domestic terrorism that is occurring across this country has anything to do with the peaceful protests, you're wrong. However, it's using the peaceful protests as fuel for its own fire of hate. And this is hate that is coming out of white supremacy, white nationalists, right extremists. Be clear on that. If you're someone who's trying to follow what's going on, look at everything going on. And you're going to hear some of this wackadoodle stuff coming out of some of these people in D.C. And that's nothing new. There is truth coming from the officials in Minnesota, and they spoke to it real clearly today. So if you need to figure out what's going on, go watch the coverage from this morning in Minnesota, and they will tell you what is causing all of this hate and violence, what is spreading this domestic terrorism in this country.